The story would begin in the battle against the legendary Saiyan Broly, because despite the fact that both Saiyans used all their power was not necessary. That's right, the power possessed by the Saiyan Broly was amazing. So much so that even though he did not possess the divine ki, he was able to defeat both Saiyans, for which both had resorted to fusion. The battle that both Saiyans mentioned was incredible, although Gogeta on this occasion had totally the advantage. The Saiyan Broly did not let to release his power, so at the passage of a few moments, Gogeta would access the Super Saiyan Blue, with which he had taken the battle much more seriously, in which, from a great attack, he was about to end Broly's life. However, with the help of the Dragon Balls, Broly was teleported to his planet. The fusion of the powerful Gogeta was about to end, observing his entire paranormal.
That was fun. I'm still the beast tamer no matter who it is.
Instantly, the fusion would end, in which both warriors had returned to normal. But Goku was a little thoughtful about everything that had happened, so which would decide to break his limits once again, to which the Prince of the Saiyans would not be let behind, since the instant Vegeta would communicate telepathically with Whis.
Whis, please trade me. I can't believe that a Saiyan who doesn't possess a divine energy like us was able to defeat us, and must have resorted to fusion.
There will always be warriors of that type. And won't Mr. Goku train with us in the same way?
I don't know where that insect's gone, but I'm sure he's gone to a place to perform a training in the same way to break his limits.
Oh, this will be very interesting. Okay, let's start with the God of Destruction candidate training. Vegeta was surprised by the proposal that Whis had offered him.
It means that when Lord Beerus dies, I'll be the new God of the Destruction of the entire Universe 7.
Exactly, Mr. Vegeta. Since otherwise it is not possible for me to grant the training to the God of Destruction.
Lord Beerus has thousands of years left to live. It's okay, Whis. I accept the position of God of Destruction when Lord Beerus departs from this world.
In that case, it'll be better to leave to the planet of Beerus to start with the new training. Both had headed towards the planet of the god Beerus, while for his part Goku had resorted to the Room of Time, beginning to monitor each of his transformations from the most basic to the most powerful, to have total control over his internal energy.
Broly's power's been amazing, but I can't stay at this level. I have to be able to break all my limiters like Saiyan.
Goku, with his great determination, would begin to focus much more on each of his workouts. However, as time passed, Goku had been able to access the Ultra Instinct on request. However, his combative power had not increased in a way that the Saiyan would like, since the Ultra Instinct was a state which made him completely intangible, but did not grant a growth of energy.
Hell, I've been able to master the Ultra Instinct, but I'm not able to reach a new level. If an extremely more powerful being appears, I'm sure he'd be able to defeat me, since his power would be more destructive.
But without even Goku noticing, a powerful entity was watching the exhausted training that the Saiyan was carrying out. But as we get a little closer, we're able to notice how this existence maintained an incredible size, while a fur covered his entire body. That's right, it was a beast. But not just any beast, this was the legendary sacred Ozaru.
I finally found a worthy warrior who is capable of being my successor, who will keep all my power at its maximum splendor. I don't have time anymore, and apparently that Saiyan keeps a pure heart.
While Goku was training, a surprising pressure would become present at the Time Room, which had left him surprised. But despite being transformed into the Ultra Instinct, that pressure that had been able to completely bend him, being able to make Goku not being able to move any of his muscles. That pressure being so devastating had even made him fall to the floor, and even at the Time Room would begin to change its appearance, starting to destroy half of all of the over the place. Volcanoes, as well as stars, were created and at the same time destroyed by that beastly power.
What the hell? Who's all this power? I knew that the Ultra Instinct would be effective with warriors of similar powers to mine, but with a warrior that's completely overshadows me, I won't be able to even move like I am now.
All over the place, some extremely giant footsteps could be heard, while a large silhouette could be observed all over the place. That silhouette left Goku surprised.
If you're an Ozaru, although your size is thousands of times bigger than an ordinary Ozaru, I don't feel evil or bad intentions in you.
You will be the next legendary sacred Ozaru. As your heart's being pure, you are worthy that I trust you with all my power.
What? I don't understand anything.
I'll be part of your power since millions of years have passed, and I've been able to search for the warrior who is worthy. And you'll be the warrior to bring glory to this multiverse. Great, the useless Zeno-sama. He and I were also great friends.
Without Goku being able to say anything, an incredible power began to enter his entire body, at which, the moment loud screams of Goku would resound throughout the room of time, since the power that Goku was releasing was of an extremely incredible scale, so much so that he had formed multiple dimensional cracks. However, his power seemed to have no limits since it continued to constantly increase.
Hell, I haven't understood almost anything, but I have to be able to close all these dimensional cracks or even destroy the Earth.
Goku, concentrating to the maximum, was able to decrease his power a little, but it was getting too much, since too much blood was coming out all over the place, since the power that the sacred Ozaru had granted him seemed to be unlimited. After a few weeks, Goku would fall to the ground, not being able to withstand all the power of that beast. For his part on the planet of Beerus, the training of the Prince of the Saiyan had begun, in which they mainly concentrated in the same way on the control of their internal energy, so that he was able to simulate the power of destruction throughout his body. When he is still able to control his internal energy 100%, we will start with his new training, which will be the control of the destructive energy, also known as the energy of the gods of destruction. Vegeta was still in a meditation pose, while his entire internal system kept his power stable. Although this training seems to be the easiest, it really was the most difficult training that the Prince of the Saiyans was carrying out, since it was not a physical training. On the contrary, it was even a mental training, to which he had never undergone. Returning to the time room, it had already been 3 years, which in the outside would have been equivalent to 3 days. Goku was able to wake up, but his whole body was extremely heavy, because the power of that beast had not been controlled at all.
My body, it hurts completely. Even my fingers hurt. What the hell happened? Am I the legendary sacred Ozaru now? I don't even know what that is.
Goku would try to stand up in his base state, since his body seemed to weigh tons. So while trying to transform, he had the risk of exploding from all the excess energy.
I have to control all this power, first in my base state. I don't know what the hell has happened, or if this is a divine force, but I appreciate this power. I don't feel good accepting powers from third parties, but I'll use this great power to protect all my friends.
Goku in his base state would start with his great training, while only focused on the control of his new power. Meanwhile, in a place far, far away from all the 12 universes, a warrior from the form of a skeleton would stand.
So the damn Orochi was able to find a real carrier. That damn good-for-nothing monkey. I don't care who your carrier is. I will eradicate it. And this time I'll keep your power whether you want it or not.
Mesvel, which was the name of this powerful warrior, would start walking all over his castle. But with every one of his steps outside, thousands of catastrophes would happen. So a warrior would arrive in front of the Mesvel.
Oh my lord, what's the matter? I can tell he's in a terrible mood, but I'm sure this is all due to something specific. I don't want to talk to anyone right now, so you'd better get the hell out of my sight.
The warrior would leave, as otherwise his life might be in danger.
I swear that I'll find you, and I will end your damn hope of eliminating evil completely. That is impossible since I'm the embodiment of evil, and ending my existence is impossible.
Returning to the room of time, this training of Goku was costing him too much, since it had already been about 3 more years, and Goku hadn't been able to master even 25% of all that power.
This is really bad. But how much did that Ozaru have? Was he looking for a successor or carrier? I don't understand, but I'm sure a very powerful warrior of the same form must be waiting for me somewhere in the 12 universes.
For his part in the Kingdom of the Whole, Zeno-sama was extremely bored, so he would request the presence of Daishinken.
Tell me, Lord, what is offered to you? Anything I can help you with?
Daishinken, I'm really bored. Bring my friend Goku, please.
It's okay, Zeno-sama. Right now, I'll communicate with Mr. Goku.
Daishinken, with his great mental power, would try to communicate with Son Goku, but it would be impossible for him, because he was nowhere in the 12 universes. So Daishinken, a little bewildered, would go to planet Earth. The instant he arrived, the god of the Earth was surprised to realize that such an existence was in front of him.
Pepe, But if this is Daishinkan-sama, the father of all angels and guardian of the mighty Zeno-sama. I don't know how you know my identity, although I assume Mr. Goku must have told you about my existence. Tell me, Mr. Powerful Daishinkan-sama, how can we help you? I am in search of the warrior's son Goku, because the great Zeno-sama has requested his presence. Of course, Mr. Goku is currently training in the time room. Please allow me to take him to where he is. I would really appreciate it.
Both would arrive towards the entrance of the time room, for which Dende would leave. Instantly, the great priest would enter that dimension, but I was surprised since entering had felt the air pressure had completely changed. That's right, the pressure would even force the great priest to expel 35% of all his power, so that he wasn't affected by that great pressure.
What is this? What's happening here? It is not more than 4 months that the Tournament of Power was held, and Son Goku's power could not grow in this unreal way.
Daishinkan, when observing Son Goku, was surprised since it seemed that he had chosen the imperfect Ultra Instinct as his base state, but the energy that his body released was extremely incredible. Daishinkan, being trained to protect the powerful Zeno-sama, was able to withstand that great pressure, but it was surprising that a simple mortal releases all that power. Daishinkan would get to where he found Son Goku.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daishinkan-sama. I hadn't noticed your presence. Tell me, has something happened?
He has left me amazed by the power he's been able to achieve in that short period of time. But I'm here because the great Zeno-sama has requested your presence.
Oh, I understand. I'm just training now. But can you inform him that in one day I'll go to the Kingdom of the Whole, please?
I understand, Mr. Goku. I'll inform you.
Daishinkan would leave, so Goku would, with a look of determination and enthusiasm, would say the same.
On the remaining day of training, I have to be able to master even 50% of all this power. I want to surprise my friend Zeno, and I also want to have a battle with the Great Priest.
So Goku would continue with his training, but while training in all his aura, a great beast would form. The last day of Son Goku's training had ended, of which Goku had left the room of time with a totally different appearance, since his hair had completely changed, seeming to have had a transformation, and although his pressure was amazing, at the same time his essence was warm, which had surprised the deities who were in the temple.
I'm very grateful that I had been allowed to use the time of room. At this moment, I'll leave for the Kingdom of the All, because Zeno-sama's requested my presence.
Goku, with his teleportation, was able to reach the Kingdom of the Whole in a matter of seconds, so he had been greeted by Daishinkan, which his amazement was much greater.
What's happening? I can't believe the power that Son Goku's able to get in a single day, because until yesterday his power was completely different from now.
Hey Daishinkan, just like I said, I'm already here.
Okay, Mr. Goku, please, this way.
Daishinkan along with Goku would arrive to where Zeno-sama was, who at the moment had rushed against him.
I missed you too, little Zen, but what is it that you wanted to talk to me about? I'm really bored. I want to play with you. What do you think? How about if you watch a battle between the High Priest and Mia?
Daishinkan, as well as his guardians, were very surprised.
Yes, my best friend. Am I guardian fighting? I want to see such a battle.
My lord, a battle of that caliber is not recommended, because the power of that High Priest is far superior to the power of his friend. It could even end his life.
Don't worry, little Zen. I'm sure you'll get a big surprise. Trust me.
Mr. Goku, I'm aware that you've been able to get such a great power in this time, but unlike Mia, you have no chance, since I have a greater experience that surpasses you by millions of years.
I also want to measure myself with one of the 5 most powerful warriors of all the 12 universes.
By that confidence you have in yourself, I imagine you must possess an incredible power. So it's okay. I accept your challenge.
And the platform would be created by Daishinkan quickly, at which, at the moment, both opponents would descend towards the platform.
I hope you don't get complacent, Mr. Goku, as my attacks are lethal.
The same I would say, Daishinkan. I hope you don't trust yourself just because you're immortal.
Both instantly released their power, with which, this time, they caused hundreds of catastrophes throughout the 12 universes. Zeno-sama, realizing everything that was happening, would reinforce each of the barriers that had been put on the platform.
This battle looks like it'll be one of the most fun.
At the moment, both warriors began to exchange thousands of blows all over the place. That's right, both seemed to be very evenly matched, because in none of them the advantage could be observed. Daishinkan, being a few centimeters from being able to connect a blow on Goku's face, was like a flash, was able to position himself to one side of it. With the double fist, he was able to send him to a different place to the platform, so the battle of both would expand throughout the Kingdom of the Whole. Daishinkan, by impact with the ground, he had created a great devastation all over the place, as the power with which he had been impacted was of another level.
That hurt, dang it. Where was he able to get so much power from? But the most amazing thing is how his speed exploded in a few seconds.
Wow, that was amazing! I can't believe the power my friend Goku possesses.
Has Daishinkan been trusted? I can't believe a mere mortal was able to bestow such a powerful blow. Daishinkan would immediately release a little more of all his power, so at the moment, a great aura would rise all over the place, as well as a surprising pressure he'd been able to cause several cuts on Son Goku's body.
Wow, I can tell you have an amazing power. I even think that I'll have to raise my level a little more.
Do you have any more hidden power? I don't know how the hell you've been able to get all that power, but it's a strange thing. Right now, I'll defeat you.
Without Daishinkan being able to release all his power, Daishinkan had connected a powerful blow to him that is almost capable of knocking him out of combat. So he had sent him to part of the Kingdom of the Whole, being dragged due to the power.
I know that you also possess great stamina, so I'm sure you'll be able to withstand this Galactic Atomizer.
It seemed superficially a single attack, however they were really multiple attacks in one, so at the moment that Goku would be hit, hundreds of explosions began to affect him. However, when Daishinkan approached, he was surprised because Goku, instead of becoming unconscious as Daishinkan had planned, it could be observed how his appearance began to change as all his power began to grow in an overwhelming way. That's right, Goku was accessing a state similar to the legendary Ozaru, with which his body was not able to withstand much more energy.
What are you, Son Goku? No being of either divine energy or mortal energy should have such a growth of energy.
I can't believe the power that he's releasing, the power of that Saiyan. He really is able to defeat Daishinkan. Goku was able to begin to have an incredible transformation, in which this time his whole body began to look with a big fur. So the imposing attack that Daishinkan had thrown at him would be absolutely nothing against the power that Goku was releasing. At the moment of a powerful roar would cause thousands of destruction all around. Even the simple sonic slingshot had sent Daishinkan flying hundreds of meters, crashing down to part of their place. Both Guardians used large part of their power to create a barrier and protect the king from the whole. For this part, returning to the battle of the planet of Cerberus, in the Prince of the Saiyans, he had been able to master all his internal energy. So his power had grown in an incredible way. However, he was still not able to access his destructive energy. The power that you've been able to obtain in this time is incredible. It fills me with pride, Mr. Vegeta. But from this moment, the training really begins.
I'm ready for the training you want to grant me, Whis.
We'll start for training about for a month. Your physical abilities so that your body is able to withstand this state beyond a god.
That's what I wanted to hear, Whis. Let's start.
Vegeta would start training with Whis, which every day he tried to hit him. However, it was impossible for the Prince of the Saiyans. Returning to the Kingdom of the Whole, from a small explosion, Goku could be seen with a new imposing appearance all over the place. Well, at the moment, everyone present was surprised of all the power that Goku was able to release.
How was he able to destroy my attack?
I would understand if he had dodged it for destroying him with her simple aura. This is a joke.
You made me use a lot more power than I planned to, so Daishinkan. I know that you also had a lot more power. Use it all, because I'm sure that in your current state, you won't be able to do anything against me.
Don't underestimate me. With the power I'm using, it's necessary to beat you.
I warned you. I'll grant you a small blow so that you're able to realize the true power that I possess.
Daishinkan would be on guard, but despite being prepared to receive Goku's blow, he wasn't able to do anything, since Goku, with a speed that even broke the sound barrier, was able to connect a slight blow in Daishinkan's stomach. Although for Goku, it had seemed slight, Daishinkan would fall to the ground vomiting large amounts of blood all over the place. What? How was he able to hit him? I wasn't able to see anything.
My friend's power is really amazing. I think only I'm capable of facing him. Although for that, I will have to access my combat state.
Damn,
That hit hurt me too much. How was he able to hit me with such power?
I'd warned you, so you better use all your power right now, or with the next blow I'll end this battle.
In a very distant place, in the castle of Mesvel, this one with a crystal sphere, he was observing the entire combat.
So that guy has the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru. He's a mere mortal. This will be much easier than planned. My lord, how are you feeling right now? Is there anything I can help you with? Not Susanoo, but in the next century I will finally get all the power of the sacred Ozaru, since its current bearer is a mere mortal. But my lord, with the respect you deserve, if that damn ape chose that mortal as his successor, it must be because his power is of another level. No, Susanoo, no matter how much talent he has, he is not able to compare with the power of a god, much less with the power of us, who possesses heavenly energy. I understand, my lord, but if it will be better for to investigate the warrior who possesses such power.
Returned to the battlefield, Daishinkan would begin to release all his power. That's right, he would not hide any of his power in this battle. Hundreds of rumbles could be perceived through the 12 universes, since being an angelic energy, all his children were able to feel the power that their father was releasing.
What has happened? Oh, why has our father released all this power?
But in the same way, in a very distant part of the whole place, Mikoshin, the mother of Daishinkan, when one of the first existences to possess celestial energy, in the same way would realize how her only son had released 100% of all his power.
Wow, so what's going on in the Xeno-multiverse? For Daishinkan to unleash his full power, the warrior must be facing is terrifying.
Mikoshin, with a great dimensional power, would begin to move between dimensions, until reaching the battlefield, without being perceived by any of the warriors, realizing himself as the king of the whole, just as his guardians were watching the battle.
Wow, apparently it's a friendly battle, but since I'm here, I want to observe the result of this great battle.
Daishinkan had finished releasing all his power, so at the moment he would begin to approach Goku.
You are the first mortal to make me use all my power, so I hope you're prepared.
It'll be an honor for me to measure myself in an even battle with the great priest.
Instantly, both, as if were flashes, would begin to cover thousands of blows all over the place. But their blows this time were capable of ending half the universe. Daishinkan at the moment was able to grant me a big blow, which had sent Goku flying, but at the moment of falling to the ground would create a big explosion. Rocks, which seemed indestructible, had become simple sand.
That has 100% of all my power. Apparently you haven't been able to assimilate that much power.
But Daishinkan, before he was able to do anything, he would fall out of combat because Goku, like a flash, was able to grant him in the same way his last blow. In the stomach, but the power had gained so much that he would knock him out of combat. Although Goku would fall out of combat due to the excessive use of his power.
Wow, I can't believe that inside that mortal, the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru sleeps. So for that reason, he possesses all that power.
The Guardians, being about to fix each of the damage, Mikoshin would appear in the middle of the battlefield, managing to leave everything intact. But Zeno-sama, like the Guardians, were surprised to observe an existence as powerful as Mikoshin was.
But if you are Mikoshin-sama, tell us, what can we do for you?
I was just passing through with the multiverse and wanted to know whose these powers belong to.
Mikoshin, without saying more words, would disappear from the whole place. Meanwhile, in the castle of Mesvel, this warrior would choose to change his body to a much younger one, because the words of his servant had made him reflect.
It'll be better to adapt a much younger body, because in the worst case, that war could be a real headache.
Mesvel would begin to change his body to that of a simple child, although his power had grown in an incredible way by compressing it to a much smaller body. The powerful warrior named Mesvel, choosing to have a much younger body, had decided a body of a warrior, although on this occasion, at the moment, of a large crystal had caused a small explosion in the entire castle there were, so his subject would quickly enter into the bedroom of his lord, noticing a small child.
I don't know who the hell you are, but I will end your life by entering the territory of a being of celestial energy.
Susanoo would wield a great sword, so at the moment with the celestial technique, he was able to make the sword grow hundreds of times. So he was starting to approach towards Mesvel.
Hehe, apparently he has not been able to recognize me, but this is perfect to test my new body and to be able.
Mesvel, who knew that his subject was not weak at all, would concentrate a lot of energy to be able to stop the sword. But to his surprise, he was only able to stop the sword with only 2 fingers, which left both surprised.
What? How is he able to stop my sword with only 2 fingers?
This is amazing. My destructive power surpasses Susanoo by tens of times. But every time I use this technique, I had to use a large part of my power on my whole arm.
Susanoo at the moment had launched himself against Mesvel, beginning to give him a beating. Or that was what could be observed with the naked eye, since all the blows that Mesvel received had absolutely no damage to him. Susanoo instantly would summon a giant of negative energy, with which he would grant him a powerful blow, which had made him fall to the bottom of the planet, creating great chaos all over the place.
I don't know who the fuck you are, but he gets one of my most powerful attacks.
Susanoo would throw a gigantic sphere of energy at Mesvel, who on this occasion would put himself on guard. With a single blow was able to return such an incredible attack.
Hehehe, I love this body, and the only thing his physique is that he's of a simple human, but the condensed power is amazing.
No, damn. The only one who would be able to do something against you would be my king.
Susanoo, I am your king, so don't worry. I took seriously the recommendation you gave me about that Saiyan, so I decided to adopt a much more powerful body.
Wow, but that body, although it looks like that of a simple child, the power he possesses is incredible. He even surpasses his previous body.
I agree with you, but I also know that I can get a lot more potential out of it, and I will keep all the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru.
Returning to the Kingdom of the Hold, Goku and Daishinkan had been sent to different rooms so that they're able to fully recover.
The power they both unleashed is amazing, but what amazes me the most is that even the powerful Mikoshi-sama has taken an interest in the battle.
My lord, apparently Mr. Goku is about to wake up.
Hehe, what a good joke. That's impossible. Since it's only been 45 minutes since they finished their match, he could have recovered in that short period of time.
But at the moment, Zeno-sama was surprised to realize how Goku was standing in his state of perfect Ultra Instinct.
Hehehe, the power of Daishinkan's amazing, even for me. Apparently we have been in a draw. Hehe, next time I'll be able to beat him completely.
Goku, how have you been able to recover in this short period of time?
The damage wasn't serious as it seemed, and with the help of you and your guardians, I was able to speed up my recovery.
Thank you, little Zen. Goku, keep training, because the next fight you'll have will be against me in my combat state. Hehehe.
Wow, I didn't know that you possessed a combat state, but of course, I'll be looking forward to the day that I'll be able to fight with you, little Zen.
Goku would immediately leave again, but this time he would leave for an inhospitable planet of his entire Universe 7, with the intention of controlling his internal energy much more, or rather the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru.
A battle that is that difficult was needed to be able to get a little more power, since I have been able to master it to 60% of its full capacity.
Meanwhile, returned to the planet of Beerus, the physical training of the Prince of the Saiyans had finally come to an end, in which on this occasion, Beerus would grant him a little of his destructive energy, with which he should be able to master it.
The energy I've granted you is enough for you to master it. When you're able to access the God state of destruction, you must control that power.
Exactly. As Mr. Beerus has said, when you have been able to choose a destructive state, you should meditate again, because the destructive energy can destroy your enemy, but if you do not control it 100%, it can even destroy yourself.
I'm sure that I'm able to master that energy, because for the Prince of the Saiyans, there is no limit.
Beerus would grant the necessary energy to the Prince of the Saiyans. His body as well as his aura had completely changed, because this time all his power was much more destructive like his aura. The Prince of the Saiyans, of a powerful liberation, and all his power, was able to access the state of a god of destruction. But being a Saiyan, I would call that transformation as the state of Ultra Ego. It's amazing how Mr. Vegeta has been able to achieve it in this short period of time. It amazes me. I agree with you, Whis. I'm sure that the next time in which Goku and Vegeta face each other, Goku won't stand a chance against Vegeta.
This power is amazing. I feel like I could defeat any warrior.
Don't let yourself be carried away and influenced by power, as you must be able to control it 100%, because the energy drain in such a state's overwhelming. Mr. Vegeta, at this time we start with the mental and spiritual training again, but this time so that you'll be able to control all that power of the god of state of destruction.
Alright, Whis. Although I already want to start with physical training, I'll try my new powers.
All the take is easy, Mr. Vegeta. All you have to do is have a good foundation in controlling your energy, or irreparable damage may incur in your energy system. Vegeta in his new state would begin to master all his power completely, while being watched by Whis and Beerus.
Hey, Whis, how long do you think it'll take him to master his power 100%?
I have no idea, Mr. Beerus, although, with the pace you are going in the past training, I think it shouldn't take you more than 2 months.
I think it's very little time, since even I take years to be able to enter the Master of the God of Destruction state.
But there is a big difference between you and Mr. Vegeta, because for his part, he wants to become much more powerful, unlike you.
Whis, that's not a joke, only that I've been a prodigy. I don't see the point of training, if even without training I'm the most powerful God of Destruction.
Lord Beerus, do not be confident, because in every universe you will always be able to appear much more powerful than warriors who can overcome your power with incredible ease.
Don't be stupid, Whis. That's impossible. Since the most powerful authority of each universe is its god, it must be the most powerful warrior to be able to put order.
I hope I'm wrong, Mr. Vegeta, but that only time will be able to tell. For his part, on the planet that Goku was on, he was also able to top the mountain in a meditation pose because he wanted to control 100% of all the power of the sacred legendary Ozaru. He had to control his energy flow in the same way at the highest level.
I never thought that meditation would be more difficult than physical training. I feel like I'm not making the slightest progress.
But Goku, at the moment of releasing his power, or rather, what he had controlled on this occasion, at the moment of releasing it, an incredible Ozaru could be observed through Universe 7. Because its size was colossal, such Ozaru, it could be observed from the planet of Beerus.
What's that? I also feel an incredible pressure. Is that about that beast? Even my body feels an incredible terror.
I don't know, Mr. Beerus, but apparently that's the observation of trainings the Saiyans used to use when observing the full moon. Vegeta, who was also meditating, felt his whole body tremble because of such incredible power on the part of the Ozaru. So the moment Vegeta opened his eyes, he was surprised to observe such an incredible Ozaru.
What is this surprise to be? The size of an Ozaru can't reach such scales. Even if I feel it, it's releasing an amazing pressure.
Vegeta, we don't know if that power is about a new ally or a new enemy, so we ask if you could come with us.
Of course, Whis. I'll go. Because that Ozaru just gives me more to understand something. A Saiyan has so much power to transform to such size.
The three warriors left quickly to where the energy center of that Ozaru was located. For his part, even Goku had been surprised of the incredible power that his own body gave off. So at the moment, in his mind, the sacred Ozaru would communicate with Goku.
That is the representation of my spirit form. So you, being the new sacred Ozaru, can transform like that. As long as you see the largest moon of the 12 universes, also known as the Mega Moon, or invoke my spirit form.
Oh, I understand. I appreciate it very much, and I promise that I'll be the warrior to whom you have many expectations. I'll protect this entire multiverse.
Oh, I know you will. Since your courage is capable of even giving your life to other warriors, with the power you possess now, I know you'll go even further than I once could.
After a few minutes, the deities along with Vegeta had arrived on that planet, in which the Ozaru had already disappeared. But everyone was surprised to find Goku meditating, while his aura remained calm and likewise released a pressure that would intimidate any warrior. Mr. Goku, was the Ozaru that could be seen a few moments ago a part of your power?
So long without seeing them. And you're right, Whis. I don't control my power 100%, so I released a new technique that I've been perfecting.
Don't say stupid things, Insect. You haven't had the divine training. You can't have a power greater than mine.
How about we have a little combat like the old days?
I can't feel Son Goku's power in full, but I'm sure Vegeta can't lose against Son Goku, since Vegeta's under the teachings of an angel. That's been able to master part of his destructive energy. We can't be so sure of that, since the power of Mr. Goku has left me surprised, because he is even able to make my body shudder. Vegeta would begin to access the Ultra Ego, since his body asked him to release all his power, so even the Prince of the Saiyans would release a power beyond the body his own body supported. However, very close to the warriors, Mesvel would be watching everything that happened, being prepared to attack Goku at the right time.
Wow, Vegeta, I can tell you have an amazing power, but don't be able to do anything against me.
Goku would only remain in the perfect Ultra Instinct, with which, at the moment, both began to exchange thousands of blows. And as surprising as it may seem, Vegeta was not able to connect a single one of his blows, while Goku, on the other hand, had been able to connect sneakily blows on Vegeta's body. But at the moment, Goku, having his senses much more developed, was able to perceive the essence of Mesvel. So Goku, with a powerful blow, had sent Vegeta flying to the side of Beerus and Whis, and at the moment, would create a barrier over the three warriors.
What's going on, Mr. Goku? Why haven't you left at the barrier?
But Whis was surprised to not be able to see any warrior, only to observe how Goku had been sent to fly thousands of kilometers, causing great disasters all around.
Heh, so you were able to notice my presence. That seems amazing to me, but it won't be enough to face me.
However, all the power that Goku had been able to master was beginning to be released, beginning to access that mythical transformation that he had used against Daishinken. But unlike before, the power he released on this occasion was overwhelming. So much so that the deities were surprised to realize the new transformation of the Saiyan. The incredible power of Goku would be present for each of the 12 universes, even being so much that it had been perceived up to the Kingdom of the Whole, which would even attract the attention of the great figures of that place.
Goku is releasing all that power. How's it possible that someone forces him to use all his power? It's even much bigger than the power I used against Daishinken.
My lord, as far as we've been able to investigate, of warriors also very close to Lord Goku, but we're not able to measure his power.
Zeno-sama, with a great mental ability, was able to move through each of the 12 universes, being able to observe the subject.
And who the hell is that warrior? I've never seen him before, but it leaves me amazed that he's not affected by the incredible pressure that Goku's entire body releases.
For his part, Goku at the moment had expelled his power to the limit that his body could withstand. So instantly, Goku, as if it were a flash, would grant him a powerful blow, causing a great disaster due to the power. However, Mesvel was able to stop Goku's blow with only one of his hands, which surprised everyone present. Now I understand why Mr. Goku has locked us in a barrier, but I'm not able to understand the power that his enemy possesses. It is a gigantic power.
Hey, Whis, this must be a nightmare. A warrior can't possess such a great power.
I agree with you, Mr. Beerus. I don't know how Mr. Goku's been able to get all of this power in this short period of time, but to the warrior he's facing, even we angels wouldn't be able to do something to him. Again, they observed how Goku had been sent to fly thousands of kilometers all over Universe 7. So at the moment, Mesvel would also move at a flashing speed, which at the moment, he was able to give him a beating. The difference in powers was so much that this time Goku was not even able to defend himself, while Goku received the beating of his life. He would say to himself,
"This is the power that I'm able to withstand, but I think I have to push my body to the limit, because otherwise this damn dwarf is gonna kill me."
Mesvel would instantly hold Goku by one of his legs, starting to whip his body against all the planets that were around him, causing him abysmal damage, because this time his body as well as his internal system were being affected in an incomparable way. Even his energy veins seemed like they were going to explode.
Ha ha ha! What happened? I thought the bearer of the legendary sacred Ozaru would be much more powerful, but you're just another piece of trash. You deserve death.
Ah, that hurt too much, but right now I'll get over all my limits.
Goku would hardly begin to stand up, while his usual internal system would begin to transport even 100 times more energy than usual. Instantly, an incredible roar would be heard by each of the 12 universes. While his body began to wear a plated colored fur, just as his hair changed to the same color, and that was not all, because his power likewise began to increase thousands of times, which, on this occasion, even the King of the Whole felt like it was pressure was able to end his life. Meanwhile, Mesvel, he wouldn't move any of his fingers.
Don't worry, I want you to release all your power, because no matter what you do, this universe will be your grave, and I will keep all the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru.
Goku would say absolutely nothing. They were just focusing on releasing all his power, and that his body would not explode in the process. But in Goku's mind, he was able to observe the legendary sacred Ozaru while pointing at a large door.
Master, you don't have to worry, I'll be your shield, and I'll not let you die against this curse of Mesvel. If you die in this battle, it'll for me be an honor to fight by your side.
In that case, I won't hold back. I plan to use all the power of the sacred Ozaru. I know that your hard skin will be my shield, since your resistance is much greater than mine.
I'm counting on that, Master. And in case you need more power, you can access this door, because it contains the power of the supermoon of the 12 universes, which will give us a gigantic power for only 12 minutes. But then we have a 90% chance of dying. But it will be an honor if we both go to the other world with Mesvel.
Goku, without fear that his body would explode on this occasion, would begin to release much more power. Even his muscles began to grow exponentially, while each of his energy veins seemed to explode due to the excess power they were transporting. At the moment, a big explosion that was able to be observed from all 12 universes would be present. While Goku's form had changed drastically, at this moment, even his body looked like that of a beast to be a silver.
I'm ready. This is all the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru.
Wow, it seems amazing to me. But you'll need much more than that to be able to cope with me. I'm not any insect that you've defeated before.
Goku would move at a great speed, which Mesvel would not be left behind, both immediately beginning to exchange millions of blows for each of the 12 universes. Even the king at all was not able to do anything, just stay as a spectator, because the level of this battle even exceeded his expectations.
This is amazing! I never thought that Goku's power would go this far. This time he has been able to overcome my combat state. Goku can easily defeat me.
My lord, you, as the king of the all, should protect each of the 12 universes. If necessary, we will join you to access 100% of all your power.
You're right. I, as the king of everything, I have to keep order in this multiverse.
Zeno-sama would begin to access his combat state, with the help of the Guardians to be able to release much more power, because hundreds of planets for each of the 12 universes were beginning to be destroyed. And with this, the lives of thousands of inhabitants, Zeno-sama would instantly be able to access his combat state, with which, without wasting time, he would move to the center of the 12 universes, in which he began to channel a large part of all his power, with the intention of placing barriers in each universe and planets. Meanwhile, returned to the Kingdom of the All, Daishinkan finally would have woken up after his great battle against Goku. But he was surprised, being dragged to the ground by a surprising pressure which even did not let him breathe normally.
What the hell's going on? I can't believe all this power is being released in Universe 7. Maybe a new enemy has appeared?
Daishinkan at the moment would also expel a large part of all his power, being able to feel the essence of the powerful Zeno-sama. So at the moment, he would quickly reach the side of his king, being surprised, as the king of all is channeling all his power in order to protect each of the 12 universes.
My lord, an apology, but what is happening? Who are the beings that are causing such devastation in the 12 universes?
Zeno-sama, being channeling his power, he could not explain what happened to Daishinkan. So at the moment, he would transmit everything that happened. Thanks to an incredible mental power, Daishinkan was surprised in the same way he would begin to channel his power to protect each of the 12 universes.
My lord, if we do it together, it'll be much easier, and we must trust in Mr. Goku. He will be the savior of this timeline.
Returning to the battlefield, both warriors at this moment seemed very equal, since the blows that both were awarded were very similar, as well as the power. However, Goku's power while the battle was going on would begin to plummet, while Mesvel had only used 66 of all his power. So he was very confident. Instantly, Mesvel would increase his power to 80%, being able to deal with an impressive blow, destroying the planet on which Goku would be thrown.
I realize that you possess a great power, but that'll not be enough for you to be able to do something against me. You're still a simple worm.
Goku's body would expel large amounts of blood as he started crawling all over the place, due to his limbs having been completely destroyed.
Damn it. Us being the deities of the universe, we're not able to do anything. This irritates me.
But Mr. Beerus, we are not able to do anything since we don't even possess the necessary power to get out of this barrier.
No, Kakarot still has an ace up his sleeve. I know him. I know he won't give up so easily. We trust you, Insect.
Mesvel would immediately begin to approach, while he began to carry a small sphere of energy in the palm of his hand. But to his surprise, Goku's power on this occasion had completely changed, because his fur would disappear while celestial marks began to appear all over his body. Just as all his power created to be felt by the beings of Common Divide energy, that's right, Goku had accessed the door of the 12 Supreme Moons, or likewise known as the 12 Universal Moons, which gave him an unreal power to Sacred Ozaru. Goku, being its carrier, was able to benefit from all that power, which on this occasion would even cause a chill throughout Mesvel's body, because the energy he released was in the same power dimension. He was no longer inferior to Mesvel, which left him surprised.
Damn, I don't know where you're able to get so much power from, but it doesn't matter. Since your body is in pieces, you won't be able to master all that power.
Goku of a small explosion could be observed with a much more intimidating appearance, while his cold gaze watched Mesvel fixedly.
I don't care who the hell you are, nor because you want the power that has been granted to me, but by putting each of the 12 universes at risk, I intend to annihilate you.
Mesvel on this occasion, before being able to say anything, he was thrown towards some rocks with a superhuman power, which would even destroy several of his ribs in the process, which would cause Mesvel to vomit large amounts of blood all over the place.
Ugh. How was he able to hit me with that incredible speed? I was only able to see a flash, but I'm not able to notice when it hit me. I'll have to use 100% of all my power because this battle's taking much longer than planned.
Mesvel would instantly release 100% of all his power, with which he had similarly thrown himself against Goku. At the moment, both began with the final battle of the Divine Kingdom. The blows that both were granted at this moment were blows capable of destroying universes. Goku was immediately receive a powerful blow, being sent flying. But while Goku fell, he was able to summon a part of the body of the Sacred Ozaru, which with the powerful roar was able to also send him flying. Both would fall into terrible conditions, even his legs were shaking due to the excess energy.
Damn worm, it's a good choice to have chosen to have a new body, otherwise I would have died a long time ago. But this body has much more power.
Mesvel at the moment would release much more power than his body was able to withstand. The power, despite being surprising, had subtracted a large part of his speed, which Goku would take advantage of to grant him thousands of blows all over the body, being able to destroy several energy veins. Meanwhile, in the castle of Mesvel, Susanoo, who was watching everything that happened in the same way, had been very surprised.
I can't allow my king to be hurt like this. I have to do something because otherwise my king may lose his life.
This was how Susanoo at a great speed would begin to move throughout the infinite space, while Goku began to destroy every part of his resistance with the intention of causing a big explosion with which he would be able to end Mesvel's life once and for all.
Damn, I only have 2 minutes left of all this power. I have to make it.
Goku even activated his iconic technique, the Kaioken, increased 100 times. His power would explode. However, the time would be shortened to only 1 minute, in which Goku would use his powerful Dragon Punch, destroying almost all his energy veins. But at the moment, Goku at a great speed would move towards Mesvel.
If I die, it'll be an honor to end the life of one of the most powerful warriors I've ever faced, so there's nothing to lose.
Goku at the moment was able to channel all his energy, while in the same way, energy from all the 12 universes gathered in his body. Without warning, a gigantic explosion would begin to pulverize both warriors. On the other hand, the shield of the Sacred Ozaru was supporting the explosion, while Mesvel was beginning to perish immediately, but Susanoo would arrive, being able to save his life. Although this in the same way had ended with fatal wounds all over his body, Goku at the moment would fall to a planet, being aided by the divine beings, which after a while, they'd been made a statue in his name. Meanwhile, returned to the realm of the Mesvel, he was at rest for several months, in which he still did not wake up. But if he did, he had a clear goal: to finish with the bearer of the Sacred Ozaru completely. That battle had brought the end of a new era. But everything was very far from reality since after 5 years, all 12 universes had returned to normal.
My lord, apparently everything has returned to normal since 5 years have passed. Mesvel's power has been completely lost.
It's true that Mesvel's power has completely disappeared, but I don't know why I'm still feeling very intrigued. I feel like none of this is over.
Understand, sir. In the same way, I will inform all the gods and angels to remain on alert, in case any anomaly occurs.
Daishankin would use his mental power, with which he was able to communicate with each of the angels to communicate to them the information of the great Zeno-sama.
Gods and angels, I want you to continue to be on alert, as something's not right in the 12 universes, as it seems we are still on high alert. As you command, Daishankin-sama.
For his part, returning to planet Earth, Goku was at the sea training with Vegeta, because in this great battle, Goku had realized that if he wanted to become much more powerful, he also needs his companions to obtain great powers.
Your power's amazing, Vegeta, but you're not at my level yet.
That's obvious, Insect. The power I possess is completely mine. It's not like yours, that a legendary Ozaru has granted it to you.
Don't worry, Vegeta, as I have something special for you anyway, but we have to keep getting powerful.
Their battle would spread throughout the planet Earth without causing damage, so at the moment Goku with a powerful blow was able to send Vegeta flying, knocking him out of combat, creating a small explosion all around.
Phew! Luckily, we have moved far away from the city, otherwise hundreds of people have been affected by this chaos.
Goku would begin to approach where Vegeta had fallen, so he would realize that the Prince of the Saiyans was completely shocked.
I've had enough! No matter how hard I try, you always find a way to surpass me. But I promise I don't plan to stay behind you, Kakarot.
Apparently it's momentum, Vegeta. We better go to the time room, as we'll start with a great workout.
No, dim worm. At the moment, I have no mood to train with you anymore. I want to become much more powerful on my own.
Vegeta, please trust me, because at this moment, we both will be able to become much more powerful.
It's okay, damn insect, but if it's one of your stupid things, I'll leave.
Both warriors at a great speed had headed towards the time room. The instant they entered, Goku would expel a large part of his power because he had been able to combine all the power of the sacred Ozaru with his Ultra Instinct state. Due to this, a great light would rise all over the place, while an incredible pressure would fall on Vegeta's entire body.
What the hell is this insect? But I'm not planning to let you overshadow me.
Vegeta, despite the fact that his bones were destroyed, he would give it a little smile, expelling the power of the authentic god of destruction. That's right, and all this time Vegeta had been able to master the power of a god completely, with which he was able to repel Goku's incredible aura a little. Despite not repelling it completely, Vegeta was able to stand up with a little difficulty.
What is this Kakarot supposed to be? No matter what kind of training it is, your power is much greater than mine. I have to accept it.
This is not the Vegeta that I know, because the Vegeta that's my rival would never let me overcome him so easily. And you're right, this power is partially thanks to the Ozaru, but I'll not only be the Supreme Ozaru, because you're my partner, deserves to be too.
What? What the hell are you telling me? I don't understand what you're telling me.
Goku at that moment, with a quick movement, was able to give him a slight blow in his heart. But that blow was different, because instantly an incredible power would begin to travel through Vegeta's body, while his chest began to burn in an amazing way. Vegeta would instantly expel his power, managing to raise an incredible aura of purple fire. That's right, it was the color of a god of destruction of his destructive energy.
I'm sure Vegeta will be able to master the power of the Supreme Ozaru. For that reason, I've been reserving a part of that power.
Vegeta at the moment, an incredible scream would generate a huge explosion all over the place. But, to the surprise of even Goku, Vegeta had ascended to the state of a giant Ozaru, starting to destroy everything around him. Goku would try to reason with Vegeta, but it was impossible for him. So at the moment, Vegeta was about to destroy the door of Time Room. So Goku would stand in front of Vegeta, and with an incredible roar, he was capable of forming the incredible Supreme Ozaru.
I'm so sorry, but what's with all this floating power? Although I've transformed into an Ozaru, what is this all about?
I guess you have to control that state. Since I have the Supreme Ozaru in my body, I directly accessed the Super Saiyan Celestial Phase 4. Vegeta would begin to concentrate, so after a few days of training, his body would begin to shrink, all while his fur changed to the purple color. That's right, Vegeta was able to adapt to the new transformation in the state of a god of destruction. Instantly, a gigantic power would be perceived in the entire time room. Alright, the power you possess is amazing. Even if I've had a hard time being in front of you, it's Vegeta time. Let's start with the training.
Kakarot, I never thought I'd say this, but I appreciate it, and I'm ready for the new training.
Meanwhile, in a very distant place, thousands of years had passed because Susanoo, before being knocked out of combat, had been able to enter together with his lord Mesvel one of the special rooms, in which time passed in a very different way. Thousands of years had passed in that dimension thanks to Mesvel being able to wake up, but his entire internal system was completely destroyed. Instantly, that Mesvel would stand up, vomit large amounts of blood.
Damn, I even returned to my original body. I can't believe that power that miserable mortal's been able to get, but that was all thanks to that fucking Ozaru.
Mesvel would walk through the dimension, which also had an identical castle, so at the moment he would notice the presence of Susanoo.
Susanoo, the most loyal warrior I've ever been able to have. I have to use all my ability to manage to heal all his wounds.
Mesvel, with all his power, was able to get the help from the underworld. That's right, because at that instant, the doors of the entire underworld opened, while chains began to wrap around Susanoo's entire body.
I, as one of the first existences of this entire multiverse, I offer you one of the 7 elemental staves, but it completely heals my subordinate. This will be a win-win deal for both of us. I'll be waiting for my elemental staff.
The power of the entire underworld was able to completely heal Susanoo, who had been able to recover his power completely, managing to wake up a little altered.
What happened? Where am I? But my lord, you've already woken up. But you should be taking a break. Susanoo, I thank you for having been my most faithful and loyal soldier. But I did not want to share with my fate, since I've only gotten into this war. No, my lord, we have not given up yet. At this moment, I, the mighty Susanoo, give you all my power and become part of you. Don't say stupid things, Susanoo. We don't have the required power to take down the damn Supreme Ozaru. I trust you, my lord. You are the ruler of the whole Dark Kingdom.
Susanoo would transform into a kind of dark energy, starting to enter Mesvel's body. That's right, his most loyal warrior was able to sacrifice himself and become part of his power. So at the moment, Mesvel was able to assimilate all that great power, managing to destroy all that dimension. But before the divine beings are able to perceive his power, he would be able to reduce it quickly.
On this occasion, I plan to end the entire divine kingdom, since I desire the power of the cursed one of the Ozaru. I just want everyone to die by my hands.
Mesvel in all this time was able to once again opt the transformation of a child, so his power would have incredible increase in power, starting in the same way to channel all his power in his heart. That's right, Mesvel had planned to sacrifice himself to end the entire reign of Zeno-sama. On the other hand, returning to the Room of Time, both Saiyans were fighting, which had a very equal battle. However, at that moment, the Supreme Ozaru was able to communicate with Goku.
My lord, apparently Mesvel's still alive. His power has grown in an incredible way. But the weirdest thing is that his power even exceeds his limit. Apparently, he plans to explode to destroy everything in his path.
We can't afford that, so it's time to die together with that miserable one, since it won't be enough to keep him away. Are you with me?
Well, I've lived for millions of years, and have a dignified death is the best thing for a legend like me. I can also die peacefully knowing that a warrior named Vegeta also possesses the power of the Supreme Ozaru.
Goku, with a quick movement and using much more power, was able to knock Vegeta out of combat. So he would stretch out one of his hands, making Vegeta quickly recover. But he was still out of combat. That'll be enough, because this will not be a battle. It'll only be the end of something that should have never started.
I agree with you, Master. It's time to make.
For his part, in the entire realm of all, Mesvel was able to appear. That's right, the realm of the great Zeno-sama was equally considered the center of all the 12 universes.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm not interested in power anymore. I just want to end all you miserable. Mesvel, please stop, because if you detonate all that incredible energy, even you will die. Everything that is in this universe will be reduced to simple atoms. Don't you think it's funny? All this will be in the name of my most faithful warrior, Susanoo, so we will all die.
Mesvel's heart would start beating much faster, but instantly Goku was able to appear in front of everyone.
I've been able to realize your intentions, but apparently, for your energy to be able to explode, it must take about 5 minutes. In that time, I'll be able to get away from all this place.
Goku quickly would begin to access the Super Saiyan Almighty God. That's right, Goku in all this time was never able to master that transformation, since the price for using it was the destruction of each of his bones.
Apparently you're also willing to die, but I don't want to just end your life. I want to end all these universes.
I will let you do that, because of all these multiverses, I am the protector.
Goku would begin to grant him millions of blows, with which he would begin to out of control Mesvel's energy. That's right, Mesvel, having collected all that energy, his body was hundreds of times heavier than before, so he wasn't able to dodge Goku's attacks.
Mr. Goku will be able to take the victory. He's able to completely overcome.
No, my best friend is planning to die with Mesvel, because in case of not holding him or holding them, Mesvel was able to explode in these universes.
When Goku realized that Mesvel's energy would begin to gather in the great intensities, he would hold him tightly by the neck, beginning to move through millions of temporal cracks, beginning to be able to move away to millions of light years, in which his explosion would not be able to cause damage to the Divine Kingdom. On the other hand, returning to the Room of Time, Vegeta would wake up with an incredible headache.
Ugh, my head hurts too much. That damn insect in all this time anyway was holding back.
But the mental power would be relieved at that instant.
Vegeta, at this moment I leave the protection of the entire planet Earth in your hands. Since I plan to die in this last battle, you will be the warrior who will bring peace to all the 12 universes. And in your body lies the power of the Supreme Ozaru. I trust you, Prince Saiyan.
Vegeta would quickly leave the Room of Time, realizing how an incredible power was moving away from all 12 universes. The moment Vegeta would try to come, he would be held tightly by Beerus and Whis.
Mr. Vegeta, please stop. Mr. Goku informs us that you would try to do something like this.
Whis, let me go, damn it! There's another option. I won't let Kakarot die.
But in that instant, 4 gigantic powers had united into one. So a tremendous explosion would be seen by every warrior of the 12 universes. While the power of Goku and Mesvel completely disappeared, that's right, the essence of the Supreme Ozaru God had completely disappeared.
Friend Goku, the sacrifice you made will never be forgotten. I want them to make a big statue in each of the 12 universes, because thanks to you, we're still alive.
Damn insect, I didn't think you'd be able to leave me in such a big responsibility as taking care of these insects. But believe me, Kakarot, I'll meet your expectations.
This is how the two rivals had completely perished, as well as the Supreme Ozaru, along with his carrier son Goku, who would be remembered forever due to their great feats. "70 million years ago, there was an unimaginable void without any life, when suddenly emerged a being which didn't know it was himself where he was.
What's going on? What am I? I can't see anything. What is this immense void?
What he didn't know was, until that moment, was that he was an omnipotent being who was going to create everything known as the universe. He would even create a whole multiverse full of different types of life in order to find at some point an individual who could match or surpass the strength of his son called Zeno-sama. In Zeno-sama's palace, 30 million years after the birth of Zeno-sama's father, he introduces himself to his son.
Zeno-sama, my son, you've grown strong and apparently you've become very powerful over the centuries.
Father, I've always felt that my existence has no purpose. I often get bored. Why did you bring me to life to be bored?
70 million years ago, there was a void from which I was created. As I grew, I developed powers and immeasurable strength. As a result of that, a need was born in me to find a being who could match or surpass your strength, to even equal my own greatness. That's why I created planets, galaxies, universes, and living beings of various species.
All this was created just so that I could exist?
Yes, my son. Every star, every life form, everything has a purpose. To prepare you to be the supreme god of all that I've created. You're the main reason for all my creation.
It's a heavy burden, Father. Why me?
Because in you, I see the true potential to rule in this vast cosmos. You are the hope to maintain harmony among the creations that have sprung from my being. You are the missing piece in this cosmic chest.
Father, all this that you tell me is an enormous responsibility. I don't know if I'm ready to be able to do it. What if I fail?
There is no failure, son. Your very existence is success. Every moment in your life has molded you into the supreme being that you are. I trust you will fulfill your destiny.
What about you, Father? What role do you play in all this?
My role is to guide you from the shadows, to watch you fulfill your purpose. Finding balance in the universe is a task that requires your leadership. I'll be here, in the darkness, watching you carry out the mission I have given you.
I understand, Father. Leave everything in my hands.
Thus passed centuries, millennia, in which Zeno-sama was guided by his father to govern the immense multiverse he had created for him, but now convinced of the purpose he had in his life. In the present time, 30 million years after the conversation that Zeno-sama and his father had, in one of the universes created by Father Zeno, on a planet called Earth, Kakarot and Vegeta were training together with Whis and Beerus after having faced very powerful beings. While they were training, the Earth was illuminated by flashes of energy. As Kakarot and Vegeta embark on intense training, Whis and Beerus watch from a distance, assessing the Saiyans' every move as they prepare to rise in their skills.
Hey, Vegeta! Remember when we first faced Frieza? That guy was incredibly strong.
Yes, Kakarot. It was our first encounter with an enemy of another level. But we cannot forget the Cell Bug, that creature with cells from all of us. He put us in big trouble with his martial arts tournament. Luckily, your son became strong.
Both Saiyans exchanged energy blasts. Each hit and dodge was an echo of their long history of battles.
Ah, yes! The first time he showed the teleportation technique. That was amazing! Thanks to Gohan, we were able to defeat him.
But then came Majin Buu. That battle was unforgettable. We had to merge to have a chance.
That fusion was great, but we also learned about redemption and kindness at that time. Buu became good because of you.
As they continue their training, the energy of both Saiyans light up the space. Whis and Beerus watch with interest.
Yes, but don't forget about Beerus. That god of destruction who almost wiped out the Earth with a single sneeze. Although in the end, he turned out to be more of a joker than we thought.
Yes, I remember when I tried to fight him in my Super Saiyan 3 form. I wasn't at his level, but at least I gave him a fight in my Super Saiyan God form, and that was possible thanks to all of you.
That's right. And now we're here, training with Whis and Beerus. We cannot let our guard down, Kakarot. There'll always be bigger challenges.
Exactly. Every fight makes us stronger. Let's keep training and bettering ourselves.
Of course. We're always one step closer to being the strongest warriors in the universe.
The training continues as Kakarot and Vegeta, under the tutelage of Whis and Beerus, strive to reach new levels of power in order to defend the Earth from new and more powerful enemies that may appear with the desire to destroy the planet that welcomed them. While Kakarot and Vegeta were training to overcome their limits, Whis and Beerus encouraged them to keep improving. Very good, Saiyans. Keep it up.
Yes, they're very strong. But I don't know if that'll be enough to keep my interest.
Suddenly, they feel a dark presence and the whole environment begins to become dark. And a dark, powerful presence fills the place.
What's going on, Mr. Whis?
Something's not right. I feel an extremely powerful and dark presence.
That feeling sounds familiar. Who could it be?
The darkness intensifies, and suddenly an opposing figure appears in front of them like a shadowy nebula.
Inhabitants of the multiverse, have you missed me? Hello, dear inhabitants of the multiverse. I've come to observe progress of my creations.
What? Who is this guy?
I don't know, Kakarot, but his presence is overwhelming.
No way.
What?
The figure lingers in a shadowy haze, with the speaker being the father of Zeno-sama, the omnipotent being who created the multiverse. This one appears in all multiverse, where all the warriors were training for future problems.
This guy is the father of Zeno-sama, the creator of everything we know of universes beyond our imagination. I didn't think we'd ever see him.
Sir, your arrival is unexpected. Forgive the insolence, but to what do we owe you presents?
The inclination of Whis and all the angels of different universes is because they have knowledge of who was the father of Zeno-sama. For that reason, they have a great fear and respect for him.
I see you've been busy, warriors. You have faced great obstacles throughout your insignificant lives, but this time has come. Are you strong enough?
We're always up for a good challenge.
Shut up, Kakarot. Don't you feel how powerful he is? How can you say that? Haven't you noticed something missing in the multiverse?
At that moment, Zeno-sama's father set out to tell them the reason for the ambiguous question. Moments before Zeno's father appeared before the whole multiverse, he was very angry because when he woke up from the dream of millions of years, he was surprised that many things had happened that went against the main reason why he created the whole universe. Because of this, he appears before his son Zeno-sama. In the center of the realm of everything, the overwhelming presence of Zeno-sama's father eclipses space. His voice booms like thunder as he directs his fury towards his son Zeno-sama. The latter, visibly nervous, tries to defend himself as the tension between the two intensifies.
Zeno-sama, you failed in your duty as Supreme God. All the warriors of the multiverse have overstepped their bounds and now dare to call themselves gods. Gods? This is unacceptable!
Father, I understand that this is all being misunderstood, but...
There's no excuses, Zeno-sama. Your lack of authority has allowed inferior beings to rise above us. How dare you let them usurp the title of gods?
I'm sorry, Father. I did not intend for things to come to this point.
The anger in Father Zeno's voice increases. His tone becomes more defiant and contemptuous.
Your intention? Your weakness has sullied the name of our divinity. The only god here is me, and no one else should dare to call himself that. No one!
Father, I understand that I'm in your debt, but we can find another way to restore order.
Father Zeno's response is an explosion of contempt and fury.
You do not deserve the title of god at all. Your weakness has tainted my creation. Because of your incompetence, I must restore the balance, even if it means getting rid of you.
What? Father, please don't do it! There's so much I can still learn and improve! I can fix all of this!
Zeno-sama's imploration is lost in Father Zeno's cold determination.
It is already too late, Zeno. Weakness must be eradicated from existence for true power to prevail.
In an instant, Zeno-sama's father unleashes a blast of devastating energy that engulfs Zeno-sama and begins to tear him to shreds as he screams in pain.
No, Father, please! Ah!
Order has been restored. No one else will dare to challenge my supremacy. I will now take it upon myself to re-establish balance through my creation.
In the present day, in front of the terrified warriors, due to what Zeno-sama's father had informed them what had happened to his son Zeno-sama, a being they all adored and feared.
You insignificant beings now understand. Because of this, I will destroy all the timelines and universes that exist. I am a divine being, omnipotent, and I can do it. But I will give you a chance to fight for your lives. So I'll organize a tournament in which the strongest warriors of the entire multiverse will participate so that the power will prevail.
Earth 2024.
What?
This can't be true.
Do you think we can face something like that, Mr. Piccolo?
Oh? We'll have to train a lot physically and, above all, mentally.
The idea of a tournament piques his interest, seeing the opportunity to test his own power and perhaps become even stronger. Thraxus Nocturne. Planet sunk in the shadows.
A tournament, eh? Well, I'll show that true power is not limited to divine beings.
I won't let them destroy our future. I will fight in that tournament and protect my own.
A tournament with the strongest warriors, huh? It'll be my chance to show that the Saiyans are not insignificant beings. We will see who is truly divine in this tournament. My empire will prevail.
A competition between the strongest. Interesting. I was showed that the Metacoolers are superior in all universes.
Nigerian, a world with perpetually cloudy skies where storms of dark energy lash the surface.
Father, this tournament will be the perfect occasion to show you that my power surpasses yours. Perfect. I'll show my true power and wreak havoc in every corner of the multiverse. Destruction in a tournament. What a magnificent combination. I will be the ultimate warrior and subdue all under my rule. Let's fight. This tournament will be my stage to demonstrate the power I've obtained.
Dracoria, homeworld of the humanoid dragon warriors and the descendants.
The threat of destruction is overwhelming. My fire may not be enough to face its dark omnipotence.
A shadow that threatens to destroy everything. My ability to manipulate the darkness may not be enough. Even with my swordsmanship, facing an omnipotent divine being will be an unparalleled challenge. This divine being has the power to destroy everything I love. My fire will be my defense.
A divine threat. My control over thunderstorms will be enough. This will be a challenge like never before.
After seeing the various emotions and thoughts of the main participants of the tournament, Zeno-sama's father begins to explain the rules of this supposed tournament.
Minimal beings. The rules are simple. The tournament will be to the death. It will be held in a timeless space where the laws of time and physics are temporarily suspended. The only way to eliminate an opponent is to make his heart stop. It is by killing him. There's no other way. In this tournament, it is either you or your rival. There's no limits on the use of skills. You must unleash your full potential without restriction, so as not to be destroyed in the process. I'll be the one who will watch over the whole process. The participant who wins will have the joy of facing me, putting his life and the life of his universe at stake. But I'm a PS deity, and I will bring him the opportunity to have a divine power similar to mine for a determined time. If he does not take the advantage of it, he will have to accept the consequences.
In spite of the uncertainty that the warriors have in front of what the father of Zeno-sama has said, some are excited and others are worried.
Wow, this sounds exciting! A tournament with fighters from all universes. It's gonna be great!
Why should we trust this tournament to be fair? By killing them?
So I can fight to the best of my ability. But killing beings that are just fighting for their lives is not nice.
I hope everything I've said has been clear to everyone. The only rule is that you have to kill your opponent so that they don't kill you. I want to make that clear. You will have to kill your opponent. The way we will check if you're worthy of calling yourselves gods.
Father Zeno disappears and everything returns to normal. You can see Kakarot's excited about the new enemy that is seen. It is very powerful. Vegeta, scared and worried about his family, angry with Kakarot.
Wow, that guy's incredibly strong. I'm excited to fight him in the next tournament.
Excited? Do you realize what's at stake, Kakarot? The enemy is dangerous, and we can't just underestimate him.
But Vegeta, that guy has awesome power. It's gonna be the best fight of our lives.
This is not a game, Kakarot. Do you realize that we're putting our families and the entire universe at risk?
I know it's serious, Vegeta, but it's also a chance to get better. Besides, Zeno-sama's father is excited about this.
I can't believe you're so carefree. My family's in danger and you're excited about a fight.
I'm not saying I'm not serious, Vegeta, but when an opportunity presents itself to measure our power, I can't resist.
You always think about the fight, don't you? Sometimes I wish you had a little more responsibility.
Vegeta, I understand that you're worried about Bulma and Trunks, but trust that we can protect them.
I don't like the idea of someone else deciding about our lives.
I understand, Vegeta, but do you really think we can ignore this opportunity?
I'm not going to lose my family over a fight, but I also know that I can't stop you from getting excited about the battle.
At that moment, the tension between Kakarot and Vegeta is palpable as they prepare to face the new enemy. While Kakarot is filled with excitement for the fight, Vegeta faces the situation with a mixture of fear and determination. Thus, the training of the entire multiverse for the survival of their species began. From the moment on, the most powerful warriors of all the universes began to train with greater intensity in order to save their universes and timelines. After having communicated with the entire multiverse from the realm of everything, the father of Zeno-sama would observe everything from a crystal screen, that the warriors were getting stronger and stronger. He sent his shadow warriors to slow down the process of them.
What is this feeling that stirs my supreme being? A mixture of fascination and disdain. It's inevitable that mortals yearn for more, that they aspire to surpass their boundaries. Yet some of these warriors are reaching levels I cannot allow. Their power threatens the balance I've established. It's enough that they're mere participants in my tournament. They must be contained. They must be eliminated before their ascensions endanger the stability of my creation. My shadow warriors, creatures of the shadow and executioners of my will travel throughout all the universes. They'll be my instruments to stop these reckless advances. I will not allow the power of these warriors to grow beyond the limits set by my divinity.
Father Zeno, we're here to receive your orders.
Shadow creatures, my loyal enforcers, the time has come. The universes pulsate with an energy that threatens to destabilize the order I've established. Mortal warriors, in their relentless pursuit of power, are rising to dangerous heights. Their progress must be halted.
Your orders are our will. How do you wish us to proceed?
Each of you will disperse among the universes. Your mission is to find those warriors who dare to exceed the limits imposed. There's no room for compassion. The threat must be eradicated. Annihilate them without mercy.
We will, Father Zeno. No warrior will be strong enough to defy your will.
The shadow creatures set off to every universe and timeline to destroy every warrior who would participate. Along the way, they encountered weak warriors who they destroyed with these strong and very powerful ones. It was dusk when suddenly the Earth's atmosphere trembled with an unnatural darkness. In the blink of an eye, shadow creatures emerged from the interdimensional shadows, ethereal and menacing beings that would challenge even the strength of the mightiest warriors. Kakarot and Vegeta, training on the vast battlefield of Earth, sensed the arrival of an ominous presence. Shadow creatures, their ethereal forms and eyes burning with the intensity of darkness, materialized before them.
What are you? We are servants of Father Zeno. Your progress has been noted and must be halted. The will of Father Zeno is the supreme law. The warriors have exceeded the allowable limits and will now be destroyed.
The shadow creatures moved with an agility that defied logic, leaving behind them trails of darkness. Kakarot and Vegeta prepared for the confrontation, their energies flashing in response to the threatening presence.
Well, it looks like we have new opponents. This should be interesting.
No matter who sends them, will not allow them to stop our progress.
The shadow creatures, speechless, rushed towards Kakarot and Vegeta with flashing speed. The battle ahead would not only be a test of strength, but a struggle between light and darkness, between the determination of the warriors and the will of the father of Zeno-sama. The battle rages and the environment, plants, stones, and sky are witness to the incredible demonstration of power. Kakarot and Vegeta, deploying a great amount of ki, are in the center ready to face the two mysterious shadow warriors that attack them. Shadow Creature 1 moves at breakneck speed, leaving only flashes of darkness in its wake. Its form is ethereal, almost impossible to follow with the eye. It attacks with incredible precision, throwing punches and kicks that defy the perception of time. Shadow Creature 2 stands out for its devastating power. Its every strike sends out waves of dark energy that distort the surrounding space. Its presence emanates an ominous aura that shakes even the particles of space. The fight begins with Kakarot and Vegeta charging forward, but the shadow creatures respond with astonishing agility, dodging every blow and counterattacking with almost invisible movements. Faced with the speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta are forced to raise their power to Super Saiyan level.
Vegeta, these guys are incredibly fast. I can't even keep up with their moves.
Looks like our usual speed isn't enough. We'll have to raise our power to the maximum.
Both Saiyans concentrate, their golden auras bursting as they transform into Super Saiyan. Their golden hair lights up the space as they launch into a fierce offensive. But the Shadow Warriors remain equally agile, gracefully dodging the attacks. The intensity of the power illuminates the space.
Now, Vegeta, let's go all out!
Let's go, Kakarot!
The Saiyans rush towards these Shadow Warriors with a fierce offensive. However, the Shadow creatures dodge their attacks with surprising grace, moving through the energy blast with ease.
Is that the best you can do, Saiyans?
Their speed is admirable, but they're still not up to par. Damn it! I
can't go on like this, Kakarot. We need something else.
You're right, Vegeta. Let's take this to the next level.
Faced with persistent speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta rise their power even higher, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Their blue auras flash with intensity, and the pressure of their power shakes the surrounding space. However, the Shadow Warriors are not daunted. The battle reaches its peak as the four warriors are engulfed in a frenzy of energy. Kakarot launches his attack called Kamehameha, and Vegeta launches his final flash attack, but the Shadow Warriors respond with counterattacks that defy the laws of physics. Then the clash of these powerful attacks causes an immense explosion. At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the shadow creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the shadow creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from the smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds, and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin. Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this.
Yes, Vegeta. This creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all.
Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides.
Come on, Vegeta. Let's attack together and put an end to this.
For once, Kakarot, I agree. The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyan's attacks with ease.
Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense. Focus!
I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast. The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination.
We can't underestimate this thing. Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together.
All right, Kakarot, together we'll defeat it. Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late. Kamehameha! Final Flash! The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyan's assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely.
Vegeta, we're in trouble. This thing's stronger than we thought.
Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing.
Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta!
The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes.
Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince.
Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground.
Vegeta, we need a plan.
The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan Prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy.
Kakarot, do whatever it takes.
The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge that blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds.
Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting!
At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The hermit seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan Prince. As he stood up, his eyes were gaining determination.
Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting.
Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique?
Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies.
Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge!
I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice.
Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta, with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their more formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit, and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaioken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaioken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaioken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus, his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final Kamehameha!
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light! It's time to seal your fate!
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaioken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaioken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness! Prepare for the end!
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken.
Kaioken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground. Its dark aura completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaioken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated Earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaioken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing.
Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku! Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight.
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight. We won't let them defeat us.
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly. Gohan, Broly, stay strong.
Got it, Vegeta!
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys! Let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all!
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta. If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything.
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it.
The battle intensified as the shadow creature, in its enhanced form, launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together! Come on, guys, we can't lose!
This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming.
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the shadow creature with indomitable resolve. The shadow creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him. We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys, let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought. But no matter, we won't let the darkness win.
The battle began with the Shadow Creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyan's attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the Shadow Creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly! Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison!
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the Shadow Creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly, fight against this influence!
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all.
In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks.
Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you!
The Shadow Creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark energy intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher and unleashing unbridled fury.
We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes!
The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the Shadow Creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the Shadow Creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision.
Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness!
The Shadow Creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyan's attacks. Broly, under the Dark Possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled.
We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist.
The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the Shadow Creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan.
We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him!
In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Masenko, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the Shadow Creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the Shadow Creature Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated.
It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession!
At that moment, the Shadow Creature, taking advantage of the Saiyan's momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined.
Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly.
Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue.
Super Saiyan Blue!
The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the Shadow Creature with renewed speed and power. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The Shadow Creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the Shadow Creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a Big Bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan Prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession! We can't let Broly fall into darkness!
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature on the brink of the abyss responded with desperation. It raised its own power and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta! Broly's free!
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine, just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing the sudden tension, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it, where'd that thing go?
I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan.
The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Ha 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 ha! Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature!
I'll not allow you to possess my son!
Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you.
Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious.
The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The shadow creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta.
Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us.
The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos at its zone, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses. However, the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession.
Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this!
Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the shadow creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the shadow creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The shadow creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The dark entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
You damn shadow, don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. Dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The shadow creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku.
Vegeta, keep up the pressure. I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan.
Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the shadow creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The shadow creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the shadow creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the shadow creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The dark entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The dark creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the dark entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the shadow creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do?
The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power. The Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the shadow creature. The dark entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan? That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way. The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways.
Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans. Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the shadow creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The dark entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that shadow creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the shadow creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the shadow creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the dark entity was under threat, and the shadow creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it. The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan?
As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life. So what's the plan, Piccolo? Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best.
But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching? That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you. I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the Savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The shadow creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach. This is my chance to end this! With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small shadow leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state. What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This shadow creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up. So the shadow creature set out to return to its master. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful likes, Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.